That's how you build a legacy. That's how you become a legend. You set the tone. It's all on you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Streetball Strategies. We're coming up to the 2021 All-Star Game, and every year for the last 15 years there's talk about whether or not LeBron James should be in the dunk contest. Now, we don't know if there's going to be a dunk contest this year, but regardless, every year there's talk about whether or not he should be in it. But he's never done one, and I appreciate and respect that decision, because when you think about LeBron James' game, being in a dunk contest doesn't serve his purposes. It doesn't serve his game. LeBron James has always been all about winning championships, and he knows that being in a dunk contest has no impact on whether or not he wins a championship, and it certainly doesn't increase the chance of him winning a championship. Probably when it comes to the All-Star weekend, LeBron James wants a little bit of rest, and he wants a little bit of time with his family, and he also is smart enough to realize that his dunking style doesn't serve today's kind of dunk contest. When you think about current day dunk contests, you think about creativity, you think about moving the ball while you're in the air, you think about hang time in the air, right? And LeBron James knows that he's a power dunker. He usually doesn't dunk on or over or through people. It's usually him doing a tomahawk dunk by himself, power dunking. That's perfectly fine. There's no problem with that, except for being in a dunk contest nowadays, we're not looking for power. It's not the 1980s with Dominique. We're looking for creativity and hang time, and LeBron James knows that. My point is that if it's been 15 years and LeBron James is the biggest superstar in the last 15 or 20 years, year after year, I'm sure he feels massive pressure to be in the dunk contest. That's what many people want to see. They want to see him in the dunk contest, but he's never given into that pressure. And if LeBron James can stick to his guns and not enter a dunk contest because it doesn't serve his game, it doesn't serve the purposes of his playing style, that made me think about why you should always stick to playing your game out here at the park. So let me give you guys some examples of what I'm talking about, because I'm sure there's many of you who are saying, what are you talking about? I always play my game. I never give in to peer pressure or play any other kind of playing style except for my own out here. But let me give you guys some examples of what I'm talking about when it comes to accidentally falling into that kind of trap of changing your game out here. Probably the most basic and standard example I can give you is what's been happening out here at the park for the last 5 or 10 years, which is people shooting the three-pointer. And not people just shooting regular threes, like standing at the line and bombing away from three-point. I'm talking about guys shooting from 5 or 10 plus feet behind the line, trying to imitate the Steph Currys and the prominent three-point shooters that are in the NBA nowadays and in the past decade. I don't know about the courts that you guys play on, but out here, if you're 6'2 or 6'3 or taller, those guys are considered pretty big guys, and they're kind of rare out here. Most guys are 6 feet and below out here, but when you get into that 6'2, 6'3 range and you come out here to the park, you're considered a pretty big guy around these parts. But what I've seen usually in the last 5 or 10 years, when there's big guys out here, they're usually standing at the three-point line shooting threes, because everybody wants to be Luka Doncic or Kristaps Porzingis, and they're just shooting 30-foot threes when they're 6'3", 6'4", and when they should be down by the rim, banging away, scoring inside. But instead, because everybody else out here at the park is shooting threes, even the big guys now are shooting threes as well. Out here, 6'2", 6'3 guys are big guys, and them shooting threes, number one, usually, to my experience, they're not that good at shooting those threes, mainly because that's not their game. They're just imitating what's popular right now in basketball and what's going on out here at the park. So instead of sticking to their game and what they should be doing, which is being inside, scoring inside, dominating the paint, because if you're 6'2 or 6'3, that's what you would do out here. But instead, you're shooting threes because that's what's popular to do in the last 10 years out here at the park. The problem with that is you're now working against what could be your legacy. If you're 6'2" or 6'3" out here, you could build a legacy of dominating around the basket, being a big dominating guy. One of those guys that can be out here every weekend dominating against the smaller guys out here and building that legacy. But instead, they're standing at the three-point line, shooting threes, building a much less impressive legacy because they're not that good at shooting threes. And because if they were down in the paint dominating, that would build a much stronger legacy for them. We would come out to the park, see that they're 6'2", 6'3", and know that they're a force to be reckoned with down in the paint. But instead you come out to the park, you see them shooting threes, you see that they're decent at best, and now who cares? At that point, they're just another player because they're not much of a threat. Because they're not going to take you down to the paint. They're not going to dominate inside. They're just going to shoot jumpers from the outside, and they're decent at best, and thus they're not much of a threat. Thus they don't have much of a legacy because they're not playing their game. They're aware and smart enough to know that they should be inside dominating in the paint, using their size against the smaller opponents out here, but instead of doing that, they're just doing what everyone else is doing. They're trying to do what's popular in the sport right now, and by doing that, they're working against their legacy because they're not sticking to their game. Another example from back in my playing days, I was out here playing at the height of the And One craze. The And One mixtapes were out. They were hugely popular, especially among streetball players, and you would come out to the court every day and there'd be numerous players who suddenly thought they were And One All-Stars, and they were trying to pull off all these And One moves. And while I admit and realize that those And One moves take a lot of skill in order to use effectively, what I don't respect is when those moves are used to show off or showboat or to embarrass your opponents. I have no respect for that kind of style of gameplay. I always hated coming out to the court on a daily basis and seeing the players out here being wannabe And One All-Stars because they were only trying to show off and they were only trying to embarrass their opponents, and it to me was disrespectful to the game. Me being a fundamental first basketball player, I knew that I didn't want to imitate that. I didn't want to try to be one of those And One wannabes because that wasn't my playing style and it wasn't serving the purpose of my game, which was I'm just trying to win games out here. I don't care about embarrassing people. I don't care about showing off. I'm just trying to win games. The way I wanted to build my legacy was by being known as a winner out here on the court. That if you have me on your team, your chances of winning go up dramatically. And if you're playing against me, your chances of losing also go up dramatically. Showing off or embarrassing people had no impact on that legacy at all. And so not only did I not adopt that style of And One gameplay when it was popular out here, because I'm a fundamental basketball player, whenever I would encounter like guarding one of those guys, I would like double down on my fundamentals, and in my mind it would become my fundamentals against their fancy bullshit. And I didn't let it get me out of my game. I didn't let it change the way I played. I didn't let it change my playing style because I knew that it wasn't going to serve the purpose of the legacy I was trying to build, which was being a winner out here. Not a showboat, not someone who's going to embarrass you, but just being a winner. So the point I'm trying to get at is that everything you do out here should be all about you and your game and what you're trying to achieve as a streetball player. That's one of the great things about playing out here at the park as opposed to playing some kind of organized basketball. When you play organized ball, you have to be coached by somebody. You have to be a certain kind of teammate to other players. But when it's just you out here at the park trying to build your own legacy, now it's all about you and your game and what you want to do. And you don't want any kind of peer pressure to affect the way you play your game. You don't want the current fad of basketball to dictate how you play your game. You should be constantly trying to find out, constantly working to find out what is the best for your style of gameplay. If you're a big guy, you should probably be down in the paint, by the rim, dominating. That's gonna build you your strongest legacy. You don't have to do that. You can buck the system and be a three-point shooter, and maybe you turn out to be a great three-point shooter and that turns out to be your legacy. But at least try it. Try both ways. Try being down to the basket and seeing how you can dominate down there. Try the three-point line, see how that works out for you. But don't just be going straight to the three-point line because that's what everybody else is doing out here, because that's what's popular right now in basketball. Don't shortchange yourself. Try it all, see what works best for you, and then go down that path. Your game is always going to be evolving and you're going to constantly be learning how to improve it, but when you change the way you play in order to cater to what's going on out here, to fit in with the rest of the players out here, you're working against your legacy. You should always stick to what caters to your game the best. Part of learning how to play out here is learning how to play your game within the style of basketball that's happening out here, but without changing your game dramatically, because that's going to hurt your progress. Again, you being out here is all about you and your legacy. You shouldn't be following anybody. You should be a leader, not a follower. You should be setting the tone out here. That should be your goal. You make other people change the way they play in order to compete with you, not the other way around. And if you're young, if you're a beginner, if you're just getting started out here with building your legacy and figuring out what kind of gameplay style fits best for you, then this is great, because now you have the opportunity to experiment and find out what works best for you. But you should always be learning and trying to build in a certain direction. When you find something, a playing style that works best for you, start building in that direction. If you find that shooting threes is something that naturally fits the way you play your game, that's great. This era of basketball is going to be great for you. You should start building in that direction. But just because shooting threes is what's popular right now doesn't mean you should just start pushing your game in that direction if that's not what fits the way you naturally play the game. But if you're a beginner, you should experiment, see what works best, and start building in that direction, and don't be dissuaded from that just because the way you play your game that works best for you doesn't happen to fit what's currently going on out here at the park. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was helpful and informative. I'm sure there are people who are watching this video who are thinking to themselves, when you show up to the courts, you feel like you have to play a certain way, a certain style, and you don't really want to because that's not really your game. But if you don't play that way, you're not going to fit in with the rest of the people that are playing out here, and having that insecurity sucks. And I'm here to tell you that you don't need to feel that insecurity. You don't need to be insecure about your game and the way that you play your game. You're not out here to be a follower, you're out here to be a leader. Don't worry about fitting in out here. Worry about setting the tone and being the tone setter for how everyone else plays out here. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you become a legend. You set the tone. It's all on you. If this video was helpful, a thumbs up would be great. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be great as well, because that really helps me out. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified of the rest of the videos that are going to be coming out in the future on this channel. And until then, I will see you guys next week.